Hello, everyone. Welcome back to St. Louis Teens. Today, we are here with Samir Somal, who is the CEO and co-founder of Blue Ocean Global Technology, helping organizations build, monitor, and repair their digital presence. Samir, you're named an iconic leader creating a better world for all by the All Ladies League and Women Economic Forum, and you are a well-known speaker on digital transformation. Thank you for empowering today's youth with the confidence, knowledge, and inspiration to become tomorrow's global leaders.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Shri. It's a pleasure to be here and to share hopefully some perspective that your audience can take back to their own life and apply and be able to make more informed decisions and achieve their full potential. And I think there's something about doing, right? There's a big difference between theory and practice. And in theory, there's no difference. And in practice, there is. So the fact that you're leading this initiative, it was something that our team receives, a number of outreaches, and I enjoyed reading about you, and I appreciate your zeal and enthusiasm for wanting to do good, which is why I'm here.
Samir, thank you so much for being here, and we hope to take some of your advice and put it into practice.
Absolutely.
Samir, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, your entrepreneurial journey, and what inspired you to help people and organizations with their online presence?
Well, I think first and foremost, Shri, I'm an educator. I'm passionate about learning so that I can help more people and be able to be of value and guiding them. And so I think there's kind of an investment that needs to take place in yourself. And so I try to do that every day methodically and go to bed a little bit smarter. And I call that the miracle of compound interest applied to knowledge. So a little bit about myself is, I'm a big believer in investment in knowledge. It does pay the best interest. And so I view it as a responsibility to be able to use my time effectively. And that, I think, transcends into others. What drove me is kind of an accident getting in terms of the technology business. I have a background in finance. I didn't want to be held back by those resources. And I recognize the trends that are taking place with our migration to the internet. I found some great partners to help me launch a wealth management company that I've, of course, since actually have sold my interest in. And, through that process, I was able to learn and make some great partnerships. And I recognize that oftentimes organizations spend so much time trying to find the right technology partners, the right guidance on digital reputation. And when you don't get the right guidance tree, you oftentimes climb kind of the wrong ladder to get to the top of the wrong building. So in being able to recognize this trend whereby companies and individuals, their digital reputations are everything, and they correlate to their valuation, they correlate to their opportunity set. And so we're helping organizations, governments, and individuals make the most informed digital transformation resource allocations. And of course, a big component of that is digital reputation.
And you talked about the migration to the internet now, where more businesses and companies are growing their presence online. The internet has exploded our communication, connection, and collaboration, which all of us enjoy. However, it has created an opportunity for negative consequences from such communications and interactions to occur. How is Blue Ocean Technology working to build and repair one's digital footprint and presence?
I think and thank you for the thoughtful question. Similarly to having a representative presence on the internet can be a huge asset when there's negative content circulating about you, whether it's true or not. It could be erroneous, and it causes people to kind of look you up. It's like, when I'm in front of a room, Shri, and I'm speaking to a group of entrepreneurs, and I ask 1,000 people, hey, how many people have gone to an event and met someone and gone home, and they maybe receive an email, they're looking at business cards, and they've Googled them or Googled their company, and kind of everyone like looks around and starts laughing, and like people kind of half raise their hand. And so that's the reality, is that we are looking people up online. And so when there is negative content, Blue Ocean Global Technology, I don't want this interview and conversation to be necessarily about us, but we do specialize in mitigating that. And there's so many ways to go about it. I think why and how we're different is we not only handle very complicated and unique situations, and a diverse group of them, from competitors posting things that are unfavorable, to court cases and past documents, to a dishonest business partner employee who is fired, and now those documents are there 3 4 years later. So we're engaged to suppress that content. We're also engaged to remove content where appropriate. Of course, each situation is a case by case kind of basis. You can't have, I always joke, you can't have packages for these things. You really have to look at the search traffic, the volume of work. And where we're different is we are engaged to educate on digital reputation repair and digital crisis all over the world. We author continuing legal education programs, Shri, on this for lawyers. And we're a go-to resource for the legal community in order to be able to assess options. And so we work with lawyers directly on their own presence. We work with their clients. And I'm a subject matter expert witness and testify and give deposition testimony about issues related to internet defamation and defamatory and online reputation management repair.
I want to switch the conversation a bit over to teens and youth now who spend a significant portion of their lives online, but they often don't realize some of the negative implications until they're applying for college or maybe a job. How do you think that teens can be more proactive about the quality of their online presence?
Well, to take the Abraham Lincoln aphorism, I think they need to kind of walk slowly, but never walk backwards. So they need to exercise a little bit of caution, because now there are algorithms and there are programs that can go back and look at everything they posted on social media. It's a known fact that colleges and employers are going to all those places, and so. Sometimes when they try to put toothpaste back in the tube, it doesn't necessarily work. And so teens need to recognize that the choices that they make today in terms of what they're sharing on the internet will potentially define them. We see countless examples, even draft prospects in the NFL who have put things out there on Twitter and made certain comments that look unfavorable, and they're explaining them 3 4 years later. So I think it's to recognize that your digital presence and what is out there online. And I've been incredibly blessed to engage youth and to present on these subjects, even at conferences like the National Student Leadership Conference, Beta Gamma Sigma, Future Business Leaders of America. And it's always I wish I should have taken some photos when I talk about how all the things you posted online are archived and can be viewed. And some people smile and laugh, and others have like kind of a blank face, and they immediately get out their phone to start deleting things. So it is real, and it is something that I think young people need to pay more attention to. And cheers to you in recognizing that, and hopefully being able to be a medium and resource for those that are can hopefully think a little bit differently about it moving forward after watching this.
And now, with the onset of the pandemic, a significantly larger amount of work is being done online as well. What trends have you seen in terms of technology and disruption? And as an outlook for the future, what are you most optimistic about?
Yeah, well, I think you know change is constant, and as the line goes, if you don't like change, you'll like irrelevance even less. So the internet is here to stay, whether we like it or not. It's ironic that technology brings people who don't know each other close together, like me and you. But it also takes us away from people that are sitting right next to us. Like we've all seen, that family that is out to dinner and everyone's on their phones, and you could have ordered food. And of course, now in the current situation with the pandemic, we see less people out there per se at a restaurant. But um, that's a trend. The trend of moving online, and brand equity can be eroded in a moment. How people are making decisions is forever influenced. And I think that uh, people need to think about how much time they spend on their devices and on computers. And there's a lot of hours, that screen time that comes up, or when you think about how you engage. And so naturally, the trust, goodwill, relationship capital, Shri, that you have offline needs to be represented accurately online. That's ultimately the big takeaway. And we're excited about that trend because it's something we've been educating and we've been focused on for almost a decade. And that's naturally put us in a unique position to be able to help people. And just since the onset of the pandemic, we've had, a huge amount of interest, and we can't take on all the, in fact, a large, a good percentage of people that reach out to us, we just cannot take on as clients because a multitude of reasons. There's only so many people we can help in a meaningful way. And of course, everyone has a different idea about digital reputation, online reputation management, about digital marketing, about this term SEO, which I joke is like a dirty word for many people because they've had a bad experience about it. So we demystify that. And I think the opportunity has never been greater. What I'm excited about is this notion of digital transformation, where an organization is going from brick and mortar presence and to being thoughtful about how they can incorporate big data and artificial intelligence. We have a big data and artificial intelligence team based in Mexico City, and being thoughtful about, even the most simplest ways that we're applying AI, that when we build a website for a digital presence client and we're seeing the heat maps and where people are clicking and where they're not, and A/B testing. I mean, these are ways we're really being able to be thoughtful about how we can, make a difference. When a client of ours and we work with is a publicly traded company in Mexico, and they're a big distributor, and one of their big input stream is oil. So when oil prices go up, they need to pass those costs on to their distributors. And through big data, through building an algorithm, we're able to help them do that. So, what I'm excited about is creating the most value for clients. And of course, digital reputation is a big component of digital transformation. But this notion of transformation is how businesses are going to survive and thrive moving forward. And it's, something that we work incredibly hard behind closed doors 7 days a week to continue to drive our organization forward and be a thought leader in that regard.
And Samir, you're a great leader in the digital transformation in the digital world. You're also a leader on women's empowerment, and you share unique perspectives on this. One that I particularly like is your talk on why women's issues are issues for all. Can you elaborate a little bit on that message?
Yeah, I think that sometimes we think this notion of supporting women, people dismiss it as, okay, that's feminism and that's people. The reality of it and Warren Buffett has made this point. He says that, look at all the value and creation in the United States in 1776. And that's not the half of it. He says that actually is the half of it. I mean, for a vast majority of America's history, women have been relegated to the sidelines. And so there's a huge untapped potential domestically, globally. I think that, men need to be a big part of that conversation. I've been incredibly blessed that I've had awesome friends and mentors and collaborators and colleagues that are really inspiring women that lead in a multitude of ways. And as I've taken an interest in this over the course of my life, they've encouraged me and said, Samir, you're actually someone that needs to speak out about this and be a part of that. And so many of the ways that I spend my time have to do with how we can support the emerging influence and affluence of women globally. And, being a man that is, committed to kind of some of these initiatives, I let the body of work, do the talking, whether it's co-authoring a chapter on women and behavioral finance in a textbook, or whether it's some of the other things that you were so kind to mention and read about in our interaction leading up to this. I just try to lead by example and encourage other men, young men like yourself, that this is an opportunity and this is also a responsibility to be able to do more. And if you're looking to achieve your full potential over the course of your life, women and the talents, intelligence, and ultimately, the drive that women have, when you involve women, you're able to, better combine, because they can combine intuitive and logical thinking. They're more aware of, their own actions. And it's been proven time and time again that when you involve women, better decisions are made. So it's a smart thing. It's also the right thing. And it's something that I feel incredibly good about contributing and working on.
And something that you're also a large part of that you are very committed to and have contributed a lot to is supporting the youth. Thank you so much for your phenomenal support of youth in India through your organization, Girl Power Talk. What inspired you to work with youth? And can you share with us some of your favorite experiences with teens?
For me, it's I'd rather help people learn the right habits than try to undo bad ones. And so I think young people have this extraordinary potential that's untapped. And for the vast majority of opportunities they receive, that creativity is not harnessed, it's not leveraged. And I take experiences being at Morgan Stanley, at Merrill Lynch, at Scotiabank, whereby I was young and I had great ideas, and some of those I was able to fight my way to implement and work through, and many of those were shut down. And I always said that one day I'm going to change that, and I'm going to give back. And so we have a bias towards young people. I think the average age of team members at Girl Power Talk, which is very much the sister company of Blue Ocean Global Technology, is around 23 years old. And when you're able to help young people, it's incredibly fulfilling. So, some of my favorite memories are, being able to get an email thank you from someone that says, Samir, in 6 months, I've learned more with Girl Power Talk than I could ever learn in the rote of traditional educational learning. And the success and the confidence. See, we never treat anyone as an intern, as a youth. Like, we give them real opportunities. So, for instance, like every Wednesday with many of our young team members, I'm literally dialing people I've never met on Zoom, holding my phone so that they can learn from that. And when a young woman or a young man at Girl Power Talk is able to then join our team of outreach, and they're able to call and gain those skills, and that transcends into something different. I would say a great memory is it's ironic that I'm behind, one of the shelves here is Abraham Lincoln, because there's a young woman named Trisha who has joined our team, and she's made she's a case study for how to join an organization and make an impact. And it's funny because her father loves Abraham Lincoln, and I certainly revere him and have studied him extensively over the course of my life. And one of my memories was we were having kind of a video conversation this past weekend, because I personally invest my time in the development of young people. And that's the only way they're going to invest it in others, is to change the trajectory and course. So one of the things that she said, Samir, we had some guests that were over our house, and my father was just telling them about kind of Girl Power Talk and the culture and what I'm learning, and giving them examples. And I was maybe a little bit shy about it. I'm not someone that's just volunteering that information, but they started kind of asking questions and discussing it. And I confirmed many of those things. And they're like, that is something special. Like, that doesn't exist, where people are doing that. And that's like the foundational element of the business model. So when you hear that, and you hear like a proud parent that you haven't even gotten a chance to speak with, you hear somebody who worked in a corporate environment as a young woman, and can't even try to compare that experience to what they're experiencing now, that's everything, because you're changing lives. I mean, what better way to go to sleep at night? What better way to fly out of bed in the morning than to know that young people's lives are changing and you're building them into leaders? I mean, to me, that's the dream.
It's so wonderful that Girl Power Talk is able to offer those real life opportunities to the youth, especially with the internet now, and you taking on learning and education at a much faster rate and becoming skilled at much younger and younger ages. It's great that relative opportunities for those skills are being offered by organizations such as Girl Power Talk, and it's incredible that teens are now able to get those opportunities. And Samir, you talked about that untapped potential with the youth and teens. What would be your outlook for teens post pandemic? And how can we be a part of the solution and be more prepared?
Well, I think the pandemic gives us an incredible opportunity to reset and assess how we're spending our time. It's a known fact that time is our most precious resource. Whether it's the late Steve Jobs and saying in the end, that's the thing that we need to value most, or whether it's Dr. Benjamin Franklin. We grow old too fast and wise too late. So the pandemic can allow you to read more books. The pandemic can allow you to write on. The pandemic can allow you to take the time like you did to reach out to someone like me thoughtfully and be able to learn, grow, and share that and move forward. So my advice is to do something, to try, to fail and fall forward, but to do something and to get out from behind the phone, to get out from behind the computer, or get behind them and truly interact and connect with people, to pick up the telephone and call people and leave them a message, to write a note to somebody that's handwritten as opposed to an email thank you. So this is the opportunity to invest in yourself. This is, one of my, I love the trite sayings, when people have said to me, people only say to me, Shri, once that that I'm really bored. Because guess what my reply is when someone says, oh, Samir, I'm so bored. Ready? Do you have a
Yeah.
guess?
Pick up something.
Only boring people get bored. And that's just how it is. So young people, you ultimately are a function of how you spend your time. And how you are spending time, Shri, at this very moment is determining who you're becoming and what opportunities come available to you.
Samir, thank you so much for investing your time and resources in our teens and the value that they bring to our country and our future. And thank you so much for your time today and answering all of our questions.